Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Vector's in Spain.
Vector's in Spain?
Why are you watching the stream?
Yeah,
You should
also
be
it's
enjoying
like
Spain.
it's like
I mean,
10
we're happy
o'clock
you're
for
here,
you.
of course, but I feel like
Might be 9 o'clock.
Spain.
Spain.
Big Bob Paint Liquor, Blood Walrus, Panic Bomb, Oak Ren, Slayer Street Noir, Blood, Mex Salty. Of course, Vector in Spain.
Oh,
Hello,
of course,
everyone.
Vector in Spain.
Osobi Paints,
What's going on, folks?
and Telemachus.
How are you all doing today?
Thursday.
I've had a pretty delightful day.
You have?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good.
I got Jason to eat canes today.
You what?
I got Jason to eat canes today. And he liked it. What an experience.
I don't know that he liked it.
He said he liked it. He said it was really good.
Did he? Have they added? Like, have they changed their menu?
No, we just made sure to not give him cane sauce.
Oh, yeah.
I got lots of ketchup. That was the
that's
key.
true. Ketchup works for him on chicken. I that's why I can't eat canes. Because I don't put ketchup and I don't like their sauce.
It's okay. We can bring tartar sauce for you.
I'm good. Definitely don't like tartar sauce. 11 p.m. and kids are sleeping. All right. Well, I guess 11 p.m. you're probably not like, and if kids are involved, you're not like out on the town. Stay with the kids while they sleep. Hoosiers. Dan Uzo, Jersey Shore, tired and beat up from work, probably. I feel that. General Ginkgo. Yep, Evo bags are back in stock.
They are. It's
That
very
is the big
exciting.
news for the day.
The biggest of
Crew's
news.
been out there with
Very hot weather.
forklift and, or it's not a little overcast today, so it's not as bad, but
It's
still
very
pretty
humid, though.
warm out
Lots
there.
of sweating.
Big Bob said that would be a funny prank to play on Slow Fuse. Replace his paints with condiments that match the colors. I don't know if that would be that funny.
I don't think he would
I don't think
appreciate
would
that,
like that
very much. I think he would laugh a lot if it happened to me,
Yeah.
and I think he would not appreciate it if it happened to him.
Exactly. Brought a ton of Pro Krill because kids, priorities, etc. Yeah, that's awesome. Hope it all traveled well for you. Raw Tomato, hello.
I hope you guys are gearing up for the weekend, having a
Right.
good day, planning fun things.
I haven't thought about the weekend. I don't
am.
think.
You have not?
No, I don't think so.
Well, hopefully you have a nice one.
Yeah. Doing nothing is nice for me on the weekends a lot of times.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Fully prepared for that if that's the way it's going to be.
I think we're trying to convince Jason to do another game night like last weekend.
Yeah.
He had a
I
good
think
time.
He enjoyed that, yeah.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see what I can do to get the crew out there again. I know Christopher and I have a game planned on Friday, which means I need to build a whole bunch of stuff tonight. So that's going to be my evening, is hanging out in my apartment, building a large amount of these models.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I can get 2 games in tomorrow night. That'd be great.
How long does a game take?
It kind of varies. As we're newer with these rules, they tend to take a little bit longer just because we have to look more stuff up. We're also not familiar with our own model rules anymore. So I would say, 2 or 3 hours per game. Probably closer to 3 hours per game.
Wow.
But they're also like fairly large games, so they take their time.
But you feel like you could get 2? How late are they open? I guess they open
I was
like
I was there
midnight,
until 1 o'clock last
Oh my
night, or last weekend.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're open pretty late.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess. They probably don't open till like noon, right? Like I don't think they open at 8 in the morning like we
remember
do.
when they open on Fridays.
2 p.m.
Old World opens at 2?
Oh yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Definitely 2.
Yeah.
If you ever have a question, the answer is 2.
Hey Jason,
No.
I thought the answer was 2.
Unless it's this question, then the answer is no. We're selling about a Evo a minute since I posted them. So
Hopefully we will have some.
Evo bags
Or
are back in
something.
stock for
We
any of
have
those
lots
of you nerds that are interested.
They're going to be everywhere. If you feel like they're going to run low, Jordan, we can start putting them in your office.
Yeah.
You can
Jordan's office is next on.
idea.
That guaranteed they're already thinking about making it hard for Jordan to get to his desk.
We got space. There's enough space for somebody else to exist in my office. So,
How many terrible dad jokes do you want to hear right now?
All
Tell
of them.
none.
How
Maybe
many-
one.
You said one?
Maybe.
he said none, and then he
I said none and
revised.
then maybe one.
Oh, at least one.
Tells here we got to hear a joke.
What tomato? Hello.
Like,
But
the
you want to see
rule.
something cool?
Oh yeah, show it to him.
Have you heard the news? This is the news.
Well, this is the other part of the.
Telemachus said liar. The answer was 2. You just said it.
Oh dang,
Yep.
Jason, that was the worst mistake.
That was actually perfect timing, Telemachus. So tell us 2.
But now is it one because that's one of the dad jokes?
I don't know if that was...
Well, I think anytime you answer it, the answer is
Dad
2.
jokes.
So, if you even think about the answer to the second part of the question as being 2, then he can keep on asking the question of, "Do you want another one?" And you say yes, 2.
Oh, see? Yeah, this is going to get you in trouble.
What?
Spatsnat said, Jason, how many bottles of Wizard's butter are you going to send me? Please say 2.
Nope.
Jason's only possible answers are either no or 2.
Yeah.
So I want to paint the dragon in like cute,
Pink?
fun colors.
Like bright colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And make it like give it like a Puff the Magic Dragon-y vibe.
Ben, it goes on sale the end of August when Nova Open begins. So we'll be producing them in bulk before the Nova Open. Nova will be selling them at the Nova convention in a partnership with us. We will be selling them on the website starting at the opening of Nova Open as well. So the goal is to have them available for an 11-month period, maybe 12-month period. We'll probably say 10 to 11. So they'll be sold for a year-ish, and then we'll stop, and that'll be it. Their limited run of that annual period for that Nova Open, and then at the next one, we'll have a new one come out.
So this is not part of the regular Texture Trainer lineup?
No limit on how many you can buy, no. Nope.
Not part of the regular Texture Trainer lineup?
No, it isn't.
It's different.
It's a texture trainer, but it'll be
Well, yeah, but
sold
it's
as
not
it'll be shown as a limited edition. You know that
Would
it'll
it be
stop sales
available
on next
for-
year sometime.
For bundling? Are you...
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's only sold on its own because it's a shared component to help fund Nova Open as well. So anything that we give, like our signature series paints, they get a cut of each sale. So we can't bundle it and give discounts on it. Really,
Right.
makes it tough because we really want to support the Nova Open, and the Capital Palette is really what it's about.
I like it.
With the goal being that there will be either a category or a special judging session for just the coins at the Capital Palette. So people can bring their coin, enter it in, and it'll only be judged against other coins is my hope. That's not guaranteed yet, but that's my hope, so that we could have a more balanced playing field type competition that I've always really loved.
Yep.
So,
Which I know that you've been talking about for a long time. Ghost Hunter said, Hail, Lord Commander. Good morning. Cult Leader Slow Fuse. Good morning, Jordan. Hello, awesome Texture Trainer.
Hi. Ah!
I don't know what's happening or why.
huh?
But I don't know what's
just
happening
got
or why.
paddled.
Gotta keep them in mind. Ken. Hi, you lovely people. How are you doing?
I've officially, well, almost officially replaced Cora as HR, and that's really not acceptable.
Oh, that's right. You're HR now.
I know.
Cora has stepped down from her position
I mean,
as
she
HR
stepped
overlord.
down quite a long time ago because she likes her naps too much.
She can't be bothered.
She cannot be bothered to deal with things like payroll and benefits
Yeah.
and beatings.
Yeah, she's not really interested in your plight.
No.
she, Like,
She only
quit
is
bothering
concerned
me.
with her own plight of not enough scritches
Which seems to never end, by the way.
and an insufficient number of treats.
Insufficient number of treats, also a very big one.
Silly dog.
Yeah.
She sounds like HR, yeah.
Silly dog is right.
All that training and no show on stream. It's because we all have,
what are you
like,
doing over
Jason
there?
and I both have too much work to
Oh,
do.
you're gonna paint on the thing? Nice.
Guys,
What's the
she's
deal?
Still a dog. Paint Liquor asked where she is. All that training and no show on stream.
Yeah.
It's because we have too much to do.
Turns out dog requires at least some amount of
She has
oversight.
to be.
You can't
she
just let
has
her
to be-
loose.
We can't let her loose. We got too many people here.
I mean, you could.
I don't think everybody in this building is really as big a dog fanatic as we are.
I know for sure that there are a couple people,
Who would
Who are
prefer
not.
for
one
that to
in
not be
particular,
the
who
case.
would not be down for just a Roman Cora.
Ruben?
Ruben and Cora don't get along very well.
Oh, bummer. I adore that dog.
He's great.
She's a great dog.
Ruben was the first introduced to her when she was brand new.
Yeah.
And she took to barking at him like he was trying to kill
She
mom.
was already, I mean, yeah, she was already stressed. That was partly our fault. She was,
Well, we tried to integrate her instantaneously, and she was not comfortable with us
Yeah.
yet. So
Oh, really?
Well, no, she was pretty comfortable with us because she would constantly like pull on me to like, let's get out of here right now, please. So she knew she could, she knew how to
Manipulate
get our
mom.
attention when she doesn't like stuff.
I'm just throwing some highlights on the top of this purple, trying to get a little bit more faded. Bring
She
it
would
up a
vote
little touch.
Popcorn machine over paycheck every time. I don't think she would because she loves me.
I think if she got a chance to eat popcorn, she'd probably side the other
she's
way.
at it. She likes it.
She likes most things that people give her that can be eaten.
This model is so great.
Yes, it is. It's really good. How are you planning on painting it?
I don't know yet.
Like a dragon.
It's a Sally salamander. Sally the salamander. This is the logo for the Nova Open this year.
Oh.
And you can get t-shirts and stuff like that at the show, I believe.
I'm excited for Nova. It'll be
I
a good
converted the artwork over for our texture trainers, and then William Sang, our standard texture trainer sculptor, knocked him out of the park. Turned out really, really good. It's the first one that really has that much dimension to it off of the base, right? With like the whole head, which I really like. A little bit different.
I've decided that when I die, I want to be cremated and put in an hourglass. That way I can still participate in family game night.
Jeez.
That's a great idea.
That's Telemachus.
I like the one floating around where it's like I want a bunch of people dressed up as Oompa Loompas to come and sing the last thing I did wrong before I died. Oompa Loompa fiddle the taint. Jason should not have partaken of paint. I said taint on stream.
Yeah. you did.
I am aware.
I don't love that.
Jen and I are.
Jordan and I had a weird, like, what's that?
Yeah, Oompa
Like,
Loompa
did we
funeral.
just hear that
news.
correctly? Turns out we did. And I don't think either of us are particularly excited about
I
that
needed
one.
something that rhymed with drinking the paint.
No, the second one was, well, he did just say it because he repeated that he said it. I was like, in the song, no, he only said it once. Then he said it.
You know, he definitely He definitely doubled down.
What, I said taint twice?
Okay, triple down.
So you know that taint is not a bad word. It is a slang term
Yes.
for a body part,
Right.
Correct.
but I'm not going to not say the word taint, because it's like tainted is a word that I use quite frequently.
I think there's context associated with it.
All right, I've seen an Oompa Loompa song. Why do you think the Oompa Loompas would be dirty?
Well, but I don't know about the word without the past tense or the, I don't know. It's just, like when you say tainted, it doesn't seem bad.
Correct. Because you're not using the word for its.
Rhyming capabilities?
Okay. Jen, I don't think we're gonna win this one.
No, I don't think so. I feel like we should just change the subject.
I agree. What would you like to talk about, Jen?
So our news, if you haven't heard, is that the dragon, and Evo bags.
It's a salamander.
Gabe said, Jordan, do you want to go where the people are?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you want to see them dancing?
Do I want to see them dance?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
The people?
No.
Who are the people?
Don't know, don't care. No.
Are they Oompa Loompas singing my song?
You don't want to be part of their world?
No. No, I'm okay. I like my life just the way it is right now.
But what if it could be better?
Well, that's the die I would prefer to not throw.
What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? Burn. What's all that about, though, Gabe? Why is Gabe over there singing The Little Mermaid?
I think he's dancing too.
What?
I think somebody's also laughing over there. It sounded
They're
a lot
giggling.
like
They're
The
giggling
sweat.
like prepubescent teens. I don't think that's what we pay them for.
No.
So I'm a little worried, gang. The marketing department is off the rails.
Well, hold on. I'm very much on the rails right now, and I'm a part of the marketing department.
Well, then you should find better friends, because guilt by association right now, Jordan.
Whoa.
Guilt by association.
Hey,
Shark,
you pay them.
The Evo bag, well, all the bags are fully stocked again. So we have the Evo bag, which is the big one, the Neo, which is the half-size one, which had just recently gone out of stock. So that one has been available up until like the past week. The mini bag is available. Yes. But the one that people have been waiting the longest for is the Evo. Yeah. So it is there now.
Yeah. Grab one.
Get one.
Grab it while you can.
Maybe tell UPS that we're gonna have a big pickup tomorrow.
What's that?
So we probably need to tell UPS we're gonna have a big pickup tomorrow.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Mention that to Philip. Philip's probably not watching because Philip is working with Evo bags. So maybe I should tell Shelby.
If you yell loud enough, she was here a second ago.
Huh?
If you yell loud enough, she was here a second ago.
Oh, Shelby was.
I heard her laugh from the other room.
She's bothering the marketing team.
Just in case.
Unless it was Gabe.
That was also probably true.
I guess it could have been Gabe, but
Also probably true.
it sounded like Shelby. And if it wasn't Shelby and it was Gabe, that just makes it even better.
You've met him, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's probably Gabe.
Shelby's got a
Witnessed
pretty
an amount of
distinctive
chaos that only happens
laugh,
when
though.
you're absent. In on 20 minutes too. What? Oh, she's an instigator. Don't get her wrong.
Shelby?
No, Jen.
What'd I do?
What did I do? Apparently you're
I didn't do
instigating.
anything. Mind my own business.
Papa Chicken says, I'm a little surprised, Jen. I've witnessed an amount of chaos that only happens when you're absent. On 20 minutes, too. In under 20 minutes. Or in the first 20 minutes, we've had an amount of chaos that normally only takes place when you're gone, and yet you're here. She's an instigator.
I didn't instigate any of that. That was you.
We blame you.
Whoa. Don't throw me into that.
Yeah, she used the plural you.
She signs my paychecks, so I side with Jen.
Technically, she doesn't sign any paychecks. They all happen digitally.
They do happen digitally, but I
do you handle facilitating all of that?
I do the clicking and the verifying and.
Sounds like signature to me.
Things.
I used to do it.
Well, you don't do it now.
No.
You haven't ever
If you
done
were
it for
still
Jordan.
doing it, you'd have my vote.
He has not done it since there were only like 4 people working there.
I used to call it Terrorist Day.
He did call it Terrorist Day.
I have heard you refer to it as that.
I
before.
said it was people would go, Ruben would come and go, you know what today is? I go, what? He goes, it's Terrorist Day. I was like, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
I love
She's
this
the
place.
Genstigator. Yes. That we need a shirt. Genstigation.
Whoa.
I do click the approve button. So Mike's new name is It's Jordan's Fault.
It's my
His
fault.
name is It's Jordan's Fault.
Sounds like Jordan got fired.
Was that his name once?
No, that's what
No,
he just said.
that's what he just said.
I haven't been fired in a while. I've been a good boy.
Chat, we're hiring.
He didn't say I was fired. He just said we were hiring.
It's the implied version.
Well, you gotta say it for it to be real. Until you say it, I'm here.
I did, yes. The brush goop.
It's all her fault.
Yes. Well, technically it's your fault.
Technically, it's my fault.
Because you asked for it. And then I did it.
I said, honey, sweet baby, darling, light of my life, apple of my eye.
Apple of
Sugar
my
muffins?
eye.
You know what's so funny is that if it were like happening now, after all the time I've spent with our products and having a better understanding of things, I don't know that I would have been able to come up with the formula as quickly. I might have been overthinking it a little bit too much.
I think it was almost the what would you call it? The freshman luck kind of a thing, right?
Because
we really knocked it out of the park right out of the gates too.
Was,
there was only a few
like
tries.
2
2 or 3 tries before we were really happy with it. We've tried some other things since that have never seen the light of day.
They don't work.
With the soap.
So I'm afraid to change anything about it because
it works so well.
It works so
that
well
you don't want to lose the properties it
it
has. You only want to like, hey, if we could add this, that'd be cool. But then you can't.
Yeah.
We've reached the point where it's like, no.
So all of you asking for like scent and flavors, no, not gonna happen.
Also, don't eat the soap.
Definitely don't eat the soap. It's soap.
Jason has talked about eating soap before and has explained that it does not taste good.
No, especially not Lifebuoy. I didn't do it. What was there?
I don't know. I heard footsteps.
Footsteps.
And I was expecting somebody to poke their face in, and I was going to tell them, what do you want? But nobody said it.
I'm glad the edible paint is part of the main line.
Nope. That doesn't exist.
Why you?
Why I oughta.
Why you? Do you see this over here? Do you see that? That? Do you see that? Right there? Do what the sign says.
You know what the best part about this is? Is I can point at it. Oh, I point the wrong way.
We have to point the wrong way. You got to point over here.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
And it has
If
to be
you point that way, you point at Jen.
You know, you're pointing
Which
at
works
Jordan.
for me.
You're pointing at Jordan. Well, I guess technically you're pointing at
It's
me.
the same.
Over.
Over that way. Don't eat the paint!
No, that's.
Ernadar,
definitely
what's
not
going on?
even How
Hello.
it works. It doesn't even look like that.
What?
Don't eat the paint. Like, you know how sometimes they'll have things that line up perfectly and
Yeah.
it's confusing and people read top
Don't they eat
down,
paint?
top down. Yeah,
Don't
that
the
doesn't
eat
even fit
paint
here
eat.
because of the way it's spaced and the number of letters.
You see a green eat paint sign. No, you don't. No, you don't. Damn you. Do you have any knowing about stocking Element Games and particular special sets of paints? I really want to taste them.
No, you don't.
Element should have everything in stock
Element
unless
should
they
have
sold out
everything.
already.
Yeah.
I think they did actually sell out already.
Oh.
Because they already have another order in, and they just received not too long ago all of the signature stuff, like a month or so ago. So yeah, they have another order
Well,
processing.
and they have one on the way if it's not already there.
Yeah, oh, that's right. We
Yeah.
shipped one as an
Yeah.
emergency restock,
Yep.
and then we have another big order being filled for them right now.
Yeah.
So
Your boy Heavy T, hello. Putting paint on plastic again, by God, cheers.
I mean, we ask for forgiveness, not for permission around here.
But I kind of read it as your boy Heavy T, you're putting paint on plastic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how I read it. You've ordered for a month
Do
now.
NT
should've been
the
dispatched.
VEP ain't message unclear. That's not even. It's not even. You can't. You.
You have an order for a month now. Should have been dispatched yesterday, but it is delayed. I ordered the Rogue Hobbies set.
Oh no. So Element will pre-sale and then ship when they receive. So hopefully, if they are getting it, this week, then you'll be fine. Got your Warrior in 30 empty bottles today. Did you order 30 empty bottles, or did you order paint? Because hooray if you ordered empties, boo if you got empty bottle when you expected color in them.
I'm expecting.
Hey,
them
Mike,
to say that they
don't
ordered
spread
empties.
rumors that we ship the same day, because sometimes we don't. And people get a little bummed out about that.
Yeah, it's not how it
when
works
they
all the
hear
time.
that, oh, well, but the guy on stream said same day shipping. Is there a UK stockist for the texture trainers? Not yet.
I mean, there are. They need to be kicked in the butt to order them.
Oh,
Yeah, they gotta order them.
we haven't sent any.
We would love for you guys and gals
If you guys
to
request
hammer them
them
and
from
say
your
you need to bring in the
stores,
texture
yeah.
trainers. If they
if
know they'll
there's a
sell them, they'll
demand,
bring them in.
Exactly, that's the thing. Think about things like a store owner would. They don't want to bring in a whole bunch of stuff that they haven't seen because it's new. But if you ask for it and say, I will buy one if you have them. Slimka said, I always look into a mirror before making a big decision. It helps me reflect. And I know that was supposed to be a joke, but it's
So
good.
good.
It's a good tip anyway. Have we sent go bags to PK Pro? If they ordered them, we did.
Yeah, remember.
But no, we didn't. They've been out of stock since May. Remember, we lost them all
They
in fire.
just got back in stock today.
Just put them in right before stream started today.
So any distributor will be able to get Evos.
Yes, I know.
As of tomorrow.
I know for sure that we sent Neo bags to PK Pro on their last order. That's it.
Yes.
Baka, I did that on purpose. I do that not every day, but many days. First time trying Pro Krill, so you're cautious. Oh, you ordered the Rogue Hobbies in black and white, because that was what her video showed, and it was great. So yeah, that's an excellent starting point for you. Game Delay said, I just use stuff close to hand for texture training, like models I have, rocks, old books, children.
Ha! Oh, was that my outside voice?
Jason, you're not supposed to laugh at
Do
the
the children
Sorry.
sit still enough for you to practice, or do they get fidgety and squirmy? Or Nadar, don't mind any of these people who are talking about eating paint. We don't do that around here. Paint is not food. Food is food.
Jason had a particularly delicious lunch today.
Say what?
Said you had a particularly delicious lunch today.
They maybe eat cane.
I heard. Jordan.
We made you do
Jordan
nothing.
is spreading the rumor that you liked it.
I did. I like Cane's chicken fingers. I don't like anything else they have.
You
Oh,
don't
okay, the
have
fries are
anything
good.
else.
The fries are good. I did enjoy the fries today.
I don't think their fries are fat fries, right?
They're crinkle fries.
Oh yeah, I don't like.
They're the kind you wouldn't like.
Don't like the fries.
But yeah, no, I don't have a
Plain
problem with the
chicken.
chicken.
All
I
I
just
could
don't
do.
like the fact that that's all there is like the, the kids menu.
If they could just have like barbecue sauce,
Yeah.
I would give them another chance.
I just do it with ketchup because that's the right thing to do.
Not the right thing to do.
That is not the right thing to do.
I use ketchup because that's what normal people do.
That's not what
And,
what children do, toppers.
I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that. I ain't trying to grow up.
Hey, Jason.
Sir, yes, sir.
I have some bad news to
What's the
break
matter?
to you.
What's the matter?
You are, in fact, a grown-up.
Ha! Boy, do I have you fooled.
If paint is not food, then what is food coloring? It's food coloring. It is not paint. Two completely separate things. Don't eat the paint, but the texture paste is deliciously crunchy? I don't think so. You shouldn't eat rocks. Zaxby's is better than Cane's simply because it has a more diverse menu. Is this white primer that you're using?
White primer.
White primer.
He's doing a zenithal? Whoa!
I figured I'd set up for the fire and all that stuff real quick.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a bright boy.
He's gonna be a bright boy.
I mean, I don't have anything to do, nor do I have any knowledge about Shelby eating dirt. That is not my business.
She likes eating dirt. That's what I hear.
I've never heard this from her. I have personally never seen her eat dirt.
I don't think she does it anymore.
No.
This is said in a historical sense.
Yep.
She said she ate
Mike
dirt
is
when she was a
saying
kid.
Shelby is allowed to eat dirt, but we can't eat rocks. I see how it is. More favoritism.
You can go eat rocks all you want. You can't eat paint.
Rocks are yummy. Fuck. Listen, Jen, rocks are yummy. Granted, you shouldn't eat them since you shall likely get a tummy ache. If you have the stones to try it, though, it can help prevent sedimentary
have the
lifestyle.
stones.
Bacamaro confirmed Telemachus. Live on stream.
If you have the stones, that's gotta be my favorite.
Is salt a rock? I think it's a mineral, isn't it?
Yes.
Or a, is it? I don't know.
Are
Don't
rocks-
ask me
are
science
rocks-
questions. I just know that I would prefer it for everyone's well-being if you only ate foods. Now, that doesn't mean all food, because some of you may be allergic. Some of you might have foods that will cause harm to you. Don't eat those. Just like we say don't eat the paint, don't eat food if you're allergic to it.
Unless you're trying to miss work.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Either.
Am I the problem?
Yes.
Today, I think so.
Sometimes.
I thought I was the good guy.
Well, not always.
Nick from Great Primer said we had a boxer that would eat drywall. She made it look delicious. So much so that I was tempted to try it.
Oh my god. My boxer loved to eat drywall too. Unfortunately, I had an apartment at the time.
Is that a breed specific
boxer.
thing? No, I know what boxers are. Is it a breed specific thing that they eat drywall?
Oh, I don't know.
You didn't let me finish my question.
My Rottweiler liked to tear the walls apart because I think it just felt good to continue to chew through them and stuff. But he never ate it. It was all just a massive pile of
Like
debris
Cora.
whenever he got done. Right?
Cora likes to rip apart things.
Yeah.
She will rip apart a paper towel. You hold a paper towel for her, she'll like pull a bite off and like spit it out. And then she'll go back for another one, pull the bite out, spit it out. It's hilarious.
When does a pebble become a stone and a stone become a rock?
When they grow up.
Yeah. Sometimes it's simply an age thing. Sometimes it's an experience thing. Sometimes it's when their parents tell them.
Mike, you're eating sugar and peanuts?
Mike is a diabetic.
Like M&M's?
Huh?
Like like M&Ms. Was asking. Said he's eating sugar and peanuts, so I'm trying to figure out if they're like separate, like you're taking a bite of sugar and then a bite of peanuts, or if you're eating like peanut M&Ms.
Saves you money on M&Ms. Just take a spoonful of sugar and eat some handful of peanuts.
All right, let me get to these questions here.
Aren't pebbles the oldest rocks?
Putting into streams where you all
not
start
always.
a model. Boxers are just dumb, adorable but dumb.
They are kind of dumb. Not the smartest breed that I've ever had. That's for damn sure.
Oh, and well, you know, and I've already forgotten who wrote. Nick from Grey Primer. He wrote, "We had a boxer dog," and I just removed the dog part when I read it. I don't know why. Buying a bag of sugar will 100% get me out of work this week. Oh, I see. So the allergy thing. You're allergic to peanuts. Now I gotcha. Can the Go Bag Mini hold paint? As in, does the foam insert fit? Not very well.
So it does. The caveat and why we don't sell it that way is because you can't load it with paint and put it on an Evo bag. You can load it with paint and put it on a Neo. So we will not warranty it or the straps if you load it up with paint and stick it on the back of a fully loaded Evo bag. They're not for that. So that's why it's not recommended or any of that. But we have people that have done it with the Neo so that you can carry more paint on the Neo bag.
Simon Meyer, before I go, just wanted to say thank you, or just wanted to say you guys are pretty awesome, and thanks to everyone for being so welcoming here. Hope you all have a great weekend.
Well, thank you.
Too. Thanks for
Same
being
to
here.
you.
Jordan, are the Skaven scars going to be glowstone glowy or like normal scar tissue?
Pink.
Like the Skaven symbol, some of them have cut into their flesh.
Pink.
It will be
Pink.
fleshy, like infected fleshy color.
Pink. Infected, fleshy, hot pink.
I mean, pink will be used.
See? Pink.
Poor pig bacon, so eating drywall in your boxers is okay? You gotta ask.
But boxers eating drywall is not.
You gotta ask Grey Primer. Because he said he said the dog made it look so tasty he wanted to try it. So ask him. I've never eaten it. I just imagine this lady, why a lady boxer? A lady who loves fisticuffs that also eats drywall, maybe because maybe he said she in it. Okay. I'm like,
Why's it gotta be a girl? I mean, because it's eating drywall, duh.
Well, because a boxer, I would think of like Muhammad Ali.
Ronda Rousey.
Jordan, can you zoom out so we can see you painting?
Yes.
He's been going off camera.
I'm gonna zoom way outer.
Why you don't like to just look at the paper on the table, Mike? Very picky, very demanding.
What an unreasonable request.
Really, seriously.
Come to a paint
Watch
stream.
a
wanna
painting
see
stream and
painting.
actually want to see him paint? Come on.
Gosh.
I'm only here for my enjoyment, guys. Come on.
Ronda Rousey probably eats drywall. I believe that.
Whoa, now.
Them's be fighting words.
Have you seen her beat men up before? She's done it.
Wizards of the Coast hired a former Blizzard exec to be their new president. My friends are worried for the brand.
I mean, you're just worried about them now?
Yeah, I don't think the worry should have started now.
Wizards of the Coast been doing things.
Nick from Grey Primer says eating drywall gets dust everywhere. It's best to wear overalls over your boxers. Coveralls.
A onesie.
Will you paint a salamander trainer in the Lisa Frank colors? I was saying at the beginning of stream that I do. I want to paint one that's in like cartoony pink and purple and like turquoise and with a cute dragon vibe.
I think we should facilitate you being able to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, she does own the joint.
Also, we're going to be gone here for Gen Con. Jen can come paint.
Jen can have
whatever
Gen
she
Con
wants.
here.
Yeah. That would be pretty funny. Jen makes it Gen Con.
Every day is Gen Con.
Every day is Gen Con.
Use the glazed wash medium, and I'm just throwing a bunch of orange brown at it. I feel like that's a good tie-in color for everything I want to do. And then I'll go back in and glaze shadows and such, doing a little different than I would normally paint, since there's going to be so much brightness on him. So doing the turn your color into a speed paint routine here.
All right. I'm excited. Christopher and I are going to play a game of AOS tomorrow. Full game. I'm going to take.
How did you
again.
convince him to play you again?
What do you mean?
Didn't you just like completely destroy his hobby the other day?
Well, his hobby is strong.
His hobby is stronger than one railroading by Jordan.
What did you do, Jordan?
I didn't destroy his hobby. We make it as a joke.
Who?
Christopher.
Oh, what did you?
I beat him up pretty good in the game of Age of Sigmar.
Last week?
Yeah.
Oh.
To be fair, we were playing like 1,200 points. It was our first game of AOS 4th. Well, my first, his second. And he was just playing a bunch of goblins. So, you know.
Chris does try to brute force bad armies.
He does sometimes.
So,
Although I don't know if they're bad yet.
Papa Chicken has a serious question. My daughter has been learning a lot about entrepreneurship in Girl Scouts. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Got me wondering, Jen, have you faced any unique challenges starting or running a business as a lady? For me...
Whoa.
Are you saying I'm not a lady?
Jason, stop.
I mean...
Don't say anything, Jason.
That might be pushing
Stop.
I don't swear on stream. But...
That's why they call it woman-owned business. You got to go to charm school to get the lady tag.
I have not been to charm
She has not been to charm school.
My biggest challenge, and this is just a personal thing, is that I don't have any experience with it. Like, I don't have any business experience or knowledge, or I didn't. I do now, but I'm still like worlds away from someone like Jason, you know. So that's just me. If she has, aspirations of being a business owner now, that's awesome because she has her full childhood and youth time to learn, whereas I did not because I was a teacher. So I still have a lot of like the knowledge and the experience of the majority of my adult life was teaching. So. But other than that, no. Are there challenges that many women business owners face? Absolutely. But that's all I can speak about is my own experience. But I think that's super awesome that they are exposing girls to stuff like that in Girl Scouts. I think
That's fantastic.
Great. Yeah.
I will say that there are still industries that do not necessarily respect the voice of a woman for command.
Sure.
Right?
Well,
but that's getting much better.
And that's actually a good point because this is one of those industries, I think.
Yeah.
And I do feel that, people will go to Jason first before they would go to me.
Yep.
If they have questions about the business, for sure. And not anyone. I mean, people here know who to go to when they have questions, but outside of our business, Jason and I could be standing together talking about it, and they will ask the questions to him. Oof. Pacamaro, that is, I can see that. Yes. And not just in Girl Scouts, but yeah, that's a really good thing to be aware of and to help them understand.
What's
Like I
that?
said, in my experience, my oldest daughter thought multi-level marketing plans were cool because half the Girl Scouts moms were in them. They thought being in those was running a business,
Yeah.
and it's definitely not. I mean,
You could treat
it's
it
a
like
good
that.
starting point for
Yeah.
a lot of people if they have entrepreneurial aspirations, because you do have to learn a lot about like managing your time. If there's inventory involved, you have to manage all of that, and there are good support networks in there, but you're still working for someone else.
I was going to say the problem with MLM is that it's always a lie that you're your own owner, and it only becomes you having that control when you're taking advantage of others the same way you were taken advantage of, which is why they're so dastardly. They can make people a lot of money. So if commercial value is your only interest, then they can be great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, and definitely people who, if they have a good understanding, that's where it breaks down, is that a lot of people will get into it because they do see that it's a quick way to earn money sometimes, but the longevity of it is where people fail. That's where when people fail with their MLM business, is that they don't know how to maintain it. They don't know how to continue to generate sales, which is tricky. I mean, I tried to sell Pampered Chef because I was like, perfect, it's teaching, because you teach people how to use the product and cook something, and it's stuff that I know about. I like to cook, and it lasted for, I mean, I did it for a couple years, and it was great income. But then once I tapped out of once I was like out of friends who could host stuff for me, I didn't know what to do. Yes,
When
it's
they
a
don't
nice way to
provide
say
you with all
pyramid
those
scheme.
tools necessarily to get that knowledge, right? Because they just kind of burn you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
They've moved on to somebody else. Somebody else in your network has picked up the torch.
Exactly. But the people who are at the top of the network funnel they do well.
Oh yeah.
And they don't.
Well,
have
that's like Mary
do a lot of
Kay,
work.
all those companies
Yeah,
that are like
exactly.
that. You've got people that are ultra rich,
Yeah.
and then everybody else is scraping by.
Yeah. And it's similar. I think that there are even industries that are not MLM. Things like real estate. Real estate is one where you have to be organized. You have to be able to go out and generate business, and so it's one that when you have a sale that closes and you get a big check, it feels really cool. But sustaining that is really difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's, I think, another industry where people think like, oh, cool, I will be a realtor, and get their real estate license, and they sell one house, and then that's it.
Yeah, because if you run out of people that refer or want to use you to sell their houses, which is,
Right.
we
Exactly. It's
look
like
at
MLM. If you run out of people to buy from you, then it makes it like your business just stalls. Video game here, not missing streak. Awesome. You want a Mary Kay pink Cadillac? Start hustling, Ghost Hunter. You can do it. I have faith in you.
doing business in Dallas. I had customers that were tied to Mary Kay.
Yeah. My mom sold Mary Kay for a long time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What is Mary Kay? I've never.
Cosmetics.
Oh, okay.
We have exactly one Mary Kay pink Cadillac, and I don't see them like hardly ever anymore. But whoever drives it is so dangerous to be around. They terrify me. They're busy putting on their lipstick. Bakamara said, loving these mice, Jordan. My box came in, so now I have to begin working on them.
Thank you. I am very excited about these I'm having a lot of fun. I was unsure of exactly what I wanted to do from the paint scheme at the beginning, but I've settled into something here that I really like. I obviously am a big fan of purples as a color, like magentas and purples, that sort of thing. And this definitely is like right up my alley when it comes to color palette and kind of dirty, beat up schemes. Although I paint a lot cleaner and brighter than this, so it's an interesting change. It's a lot easier to paint like this when you're doing an army, though. So I think I default to doing this kind of stuff for that versus the really clean and sharp paint jobs.
Valthorn Ilian wants to know if the basing paint is more like paste or paint.
Paste.
Well, it's heavily textured. Even
Yeah.
the fine texture has a ton of texture in it.
Yeah.
It paints on like paint,
Correct.
and you can use it for things other than basing, right? So you could use it to make
Grit effect.
yeah, like
Yeah.
broken up paint on the side of a tank or something. You could use like the snow texture for that. So it is paintable. You can thin it with water. You can stretch it, do all sorts of cool effects with it. So, but it is more of a paste than anything.
Ghost Hunter, no, we are not going to become an MLM. Source wants to know if Baby J enjoys AOS 4.
You know, so far I am really enjoying it. I didn't play a ton of 3. I never really settled on a faction that I enjoyed. I'd, be excited about a project and kind of, as I was painting it, sort of fall off. Or get it because I thought I would really enjoy painting it and then realize that I couldn't stand painting it, which happened with the Cities of Sigmar stuff. For whatever reason, my brain just didn't really like painting that stuff. I'm not sure why, but I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a go later on. But this stuff I'm really enjoying, and I really like the sculpts for the new rats. I played rats back in Fantasy back in the day. At 7th edition Fantasy, I played Skaven a bunch, and I really like the kind of like push your luck randomness of them a little bit. A lot of the time, they have abilities where you can activate this bonus, and you'll get stronger for a round, but you do it at the expense of potentially blowing yourself up, and taking damage, which I think is a really cool mechanic. So it definitely is right up my alley from the things that I enjoy.
Balkamaro said full AOS 4 or Spearhead.
So far, the consensus amongst those of us who are playing the game is that whatchamacallit, Spearhead is just not super exciting. It takes about as long as it does to play a full game. And at that point, why are you just not playing a full game of AOS? Because you get more flexibility, you get more options, you can make your own list, etc., etc., etc. So, I know that Gabe and I think it was Christopher played a game of Spearhead the night before last, and they kind of had that feeling where it was just like, why are we just not playing Age of Sigmar? So.
Nick, you had me until the last part. I was fully on board. Imagine MLM Pro Curl paint parties in the style of 1970s Tupperware parties. Everyone just sitting around chatting in pantsuits. And then I'm not going to read the rest because I don't like that part.
I don't like that part. That part doesn't exist. I don't like it.
But I like the just sitting around chatting in pantsuits with the Pro Curl. Talking about the different colors.
You guys get a chance to check out the new magnesium? It's so great. I'm going to do a little bit of a light dry brush or overbrush with the silver in the areas where silver exists. I'm going super light and quick with this. Doesn't need to be super duper clean, but I just want that nice little pop of color.
Strello said, quick paint question. If I wanted to paint a phantom, like maybe a stock standard blue one, how would you go about doing that?
A phantom? That, like, kind of like a ghost, I'm assuming? Is that kind of what we expect that to be? Ghost? Yeah.
Can pantsuits make a comeback? It's time, right? And shoulder padded business jackets.
Can you reread the question for me?
Yes. If I wanted to paint a phantom, like maybe a stock standard blue one, how would you go about doing that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that you can go around painting like ghostly type stuff. Typically, it will involve some sort of gradient, including like a pale white color or a pale white blue, something like that. Figuring out what the colors are going to be, it sounds like you want to try like something more like a traditional blue. In that case, you can definitely use your blues as kind of the solid. I say solid, but the form for the ghost, and then you can use the gradient down to the kind of wispy parts of the ghost be more of the white color, but keep it kind of that white blue so that it all blends together and it feels like it belongs. That's a pretty good way of approaching it, and you can do that in any color you want. You can do that with green and a pale green, or you could do that in reds or oranges, purples, whatever color you want. You don't always have to do that kind of traditional blue color, but it is iconic, so I definitely get why you're looking at potentially doing it. Jason, do you have any thoughts on ghostly apparition painting?
You know, the thing that I like, and it's a little more advanced, is that
Soulway
you turn.
Studios Raiders, welcome in.
Hello. Turn your coloring upside down so that your bright colors are in the shadows and your dark colors are towards the outside. It gives it that lit from within feel, but again, it's a little bit more complicated to do so. But that's a great way to handle ghosts. And then you would basically, you know, like imagine where it's like skin with a flashlight behind it, right? You wind up that the dark parts are where you can't see through. And so out at the extremities, you wind up having them be brighter. And where shadows would normally go, you can punch some light into it, but depends on how deep you're really trying to get into it.
Spatsnat, I love this image of the Pro Curl Tupperware party. Passing around a bottle. Try some of this on your thumb palette. Papa Chicken, those are two different eras. Papa Chicken said pantsuits can come back only if the flock of seagull hairstyle does at the same time. That would be like two crazy worlds colliding, and I don't think we're ready for that.
Yeah, it's kind of a train wreck.
Mike said, I want to see Jordan in an ad where he's wearing a mid-90s suit jacket with the shoulder pads that go out to next Tuesday. Wouldn't that be late 80s? I thought we toned down the shoulder pads in the 90s.
We toned down the shoulder pads in the 90s.
Now, the shoulder padded suit jackets and the flock of seagull hairstyles, in my mind, go together. Nick from Great Primer said, I just wander in here and disrupt the chat with talk of pantsuits and eating drywall. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
I wouldn't be sorry. I think you've done the right thing, sir.
Again, welcome in, Raiders.
Hello, everybody.
Hope you had a great stream. Nice and eventful and fun, full of painting and things.
Noir, thanks for hanging out. Hope your class goes well.
See you, Noir.
Members only jackets with the Hobby Nerd logo. I am down.
That would be really funny. Except it'd have to be cult members only. More incentive, more ways to incentivize getting people involved. Not only do I get awesome paint, but I get a cool jacket too.
I'm pretty sure those shoulder pads were so big they started in the late 80s and stretched into the mid 90s. Now I desperately want to see Jordan wearing a bright neon 80s tracksuit in a future ad campaign.
Put it on the
I like
whiteboard.
that.
Be careful, Jen might be making notes. How to
The
punish
whiteboard
Baby
might
J.
be full, but when Jen hears an idea that she likes,
Jen's got
we
a
find
little itty
room.
bitty whiteboard over there.
Yeah, I got lots of space on my little whiteboard.
Uh-huh. So never you fear. Or the whiteboard is here.
Uh-oh, video game archaeologist said my Prime Day Echo Dot is here. My house shall start to become smart. Jason, you know what to do.
Alexa, buy me a pizza.
70s velour pantsuits were replaced by Dynasty era power suits, yes. If only we could combine the two in 2024. Again, I don't think we're ready for that. We have too much going on in 2024. Although that might be the remedy. Velour pantsuits with big shoulder pads. Right, I can see this.
Jen's been brought around. You captured Jen's attention.
Why is
With
Jordan here
distraction.
painting rats without his mouse ears? Again, it's a child's headband. It's not meant for an adult human to be wearing for long periods of time.
Thank you, Jen.
We had it on for like 5 minutes in the commercial, and that was about it.
It was very much enough. Notice how Jason doesn't wear the seal suit all the time.
That's definitely, yes, not a thing in the summer.
Yeah, it's pretty hot today, folks. Also very humid.
I got a blank space, and I'll write Jordan's name on my whiteboard.
Why are you writing my name on your whiteboard?
It's a song.
Oh.
It's a Taylor Swift reference from Papa Chicken.
Does she have a whiteboard song?
No, she has a song called Blank Space.
Oh. On your whiteboard.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with the whiteboard.
Blank space.
On the whiteboard, yes,
On the
that's the
whiteboard.
song. That's actually an album of hers.
No.
Jen, no. That is inaccurate.
Okay, so Mike, what I need you to do is order yourself a child's headband and see how long you can wear it before you want to just chop your whole head off because it hurts so much. Heard it got below 110. Yeah, it's not too bad today. It was kind of overcast. It was 109 right now. Mike said, also, Jordan or Jason, my stupid Echo literally ordered me a pizza. I don't know how I feel about that yet. Well, you'll probably be happy when it shows up because, you know, like, oh, cool.
There's always a moment of hesitancy when I do that. It's when I say, hey, Alexa, order me a Gulfstream airplane, that it starts getting confusing. Usually she comes back and says G3 or G4 and you don't know. It becomes an awkward conversation.
It's
Like, what kind
frozen
of house do I
pizza
live
from
in anyway?
Amazon.
She starts getting attitude. She's like, Poppy, if you can't afford me.
It would be really funny if Alexa came back and said, "You cannot afford this. How about I order this other thing instead?"
I know that you have inquired about the cost of a Gulfstream, but I am here to inform you that that is not doable with your current bank account level. And you know you've never linked your bank account to Alexa. It's like,
D-Fresh said, would you think reds and oranges with blues layered or glazed over the top would turn gray or shift to purple?
Yellows and oranges with blue glazed over the top.
Reds and oranges with blue layered
Reds
or
and
glazed.
oranges with blue
It won't turn gray.
glazed over the top. Yeah, it won't turn gray. It will have like
more
some
like a brown
interaction
color.
with purples and such, depending on how you glaze it. You would just be wanting to control the difference visually between the blues and the reds, but you could get away with that. Might be kind of neat.
Valthorn, that is your opinion and you are entitled to it. I, however, disagree.
What's that?
Said Taylor Swift, the only thing in music worse than Nickelback and Creed.
Cool.
A lot of people like her.
I'm just looking at this thing about how her net worth is $1.3 billion. So
I think she's doing
I
all
think
right.
your opinion is the unpopular one.
That doesn't
Which is
mean
fine.
it's
You're
good.
totally entitled to
I
your
think
opinion.
She's doing all
I will
right.
never
Doesn't
tell you
mean
that you
it's
are wrong
good.
when you say that Taylor Swift is bad. You are entitled to that opinion. The
You are-
majority of the
you
rest
are
of us,
entitled to
though,
that opinion.
disagree.
You're gonna piss off the Swifties.
Jen's turning into me. You're entitled to that opinion, even if it's wrong.
Nope, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Ugh.
Tech Elf said, when I had to Zoom meeting during COVID with a lot of people, I would wait for I would wait for a minute and say, Alexa, play Freebird, and see how many people's Alexa would respond. 6 was the best I got.
Oh, that's awesome. See? That's awesome. That's the way it should be.
Ghost Hunter said, I don't need another airplane. At least you didn't say, Alexa, order me products from Bad Dragon. Oh, or did
Oh
we?
gosh.
Doomed.
Game Delay said, oh crap, I generally don't know if I want a G3 or a G4.
See? I'm just causing problems over here.
Mr. Fault. Source, you don't live in the U.S. though. Oh, there you go. Alexa, order me the entire Pro Curl line of paints. I like that. Alexa, order me a Monument Hobbies go bag. Which one?
That's how you know we've made it, when Alexa comes back and says, so the Go Bag family consists of... I require further information.
Mike, you excited about the Star Wars Legion changes? I know you've been painting up a lot of those.
To Billy Bob PA, it's not us. They're all in stock now, as of right before stream today. So your Alexa might actually be able to get you one. So be careful with that. Gates of Pain said, afternoon handle question. What size cork do I get Alexa to order me?
Jason knows.
To hold the Gulfstream? That's
Cork.
a big cork.
What size cork? For putting your model on.
That's what I said. To hold the Gulfstream?
Oh.
It's a big cork.
Oh. Mike said, oh crap, my second Scaventide box just showed up. See my name for how I feel about this. And his name today is...
It's Jordan's
it's
fault.
Jordan's fault.
Oh, that's funny. Can I get the paint splash bucket?
No.
Video game forgot all the ordering things it can do. I was just excited to control the lights and locks in the house with my voice. Well, watch out.
Alexa, unlock
Jason
the
has
house.
been known.
Unlock the house. Let the kids out.
I asked my Alexa, surely I can't order a G3 or G4 with you. She replied, you actually can, and stop calling me Shirley. Oh my god, that's when I realized my Alexa was in airplane mode. Telemachus, that is like the best one, I think, of all time. I'm going to say that right now.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Tell, that's a winner.
It was like a multifaceted dad joke, and it was so good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, Telemachus has got it going on.
I mean, Telemachus is always, always
premium
comes in with the good dad jokes.
Yeah.
But this one is premium.
Is that a problem, Mike? 2.0 that isn't 2.0? Ooh, I need an undercolor.
Two stores in Ireland that sell Pro Acryl, but you hope to do some shopping this weekend. Awesome.
Why am I seeing Chippendale strippers?
Chippendale strippers are different than Chippendale strippers.
Oh.
Or maybe they're not. I don't know.
We don't judge.
We most certainly do not. Much.
We actually do.
Much.
War Machine did a rebrand and people are mad because they think it looks too much like the Warhammer logo. People will get mad about anything. That's the truth.
That is.
You don't got to tell us twice.
Alexa, sing me on a bicycle bill for two.
So wait, War Machine did a rebrand, like a.
It said War Machine did a rebrand and people are mad because they think it looks too much like the Warhammer logo.
That's funny.
People get mad about it.
I mean, it's fair.
Papa Chicken Telemachus was here for giving us the dad jokes for a
Years.
long time. Probably before you realized that we were even in existence.
Years.
Years
I
and
tell ya.
years.
Years, I tell you. That Tell guy has been hounding us. With his
Delivering
horrible
great
jokes.
dad jokes.
The key is to print your dad jokes on perforated paper so they're all terrible. Yep.
Jason definitely loved that one.
Hate all
You can tell because he didn't say anything.
Hate all you people.
The news, Billy Bob, is that the go backs are back in stock. And that we have a new texture trainer coming up, which is the one that Jason is painting right now.
It's awesome.
The
It's really
inaugural Nova Open texture trainer.
2 announcements were made today by Jason in our Discord. That is the news. Humble Hero, hello. Can I give you guys Telemachus's address? I have a package I need to send. I don't like losing the dad joke wars. Nope. I'm protecting
I don't
Telemachus.
like losing the dad joke
I will
wars.
protect Telemachus at all costs. He is the dad joke originator on our stream.
And he started before he was a dad.
Well, yeah, he's not as much due to the kiddos.
Would you say, Telemachus, that your dad joke quality has improved or declined since you've become a dad?
I mean, if we're basing it just on today, I would say improved.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
But I think they've been fantastic from the beginning.
Jen always cackles
Yeah.
at him. Me, not so much.
Dad jokes are great.
Max Salty, that is one of the first that I ever heard when I was a youth. It's a classic dad joke.
What's that one?
Have you heard okay, do you know the difference between beer nuts and deer nuts?
Beer nuts and what?
Deer nuts.
And deer nuts?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, no.
Beer nuts are $1.99. Deer nuts are under $1.
Also very good.
Quality jokes, everyone. Quality jokes.
I remember. So that's one joke that I remember from when I was a kid. Now, if someone said, "Give me your best dad joke," I would not think of that one, but I do remember that one. Oh, and of course, Telemachus knew that one too. Billy Bob said, I own all Pro Curl paints, including all the signature series and washes. I have only eaten one. And then you realize that was just silliness, and you stopped, right? Because it's not food.
Right?
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 You don't need this kind of negativity in your life.
Oh, and Telemachus said it's an exponential growth in power with each kid. As far as the dad jokes. Telemachus' name makes you think of Bandit from Bluey, which makes him awesome. It's a character from the Odyssey.
Telemachon. The Dreadnought.
Fish in a Tank first says to the second, "You man the guns, I'll drive." I don't get that one. You have to be Canadian to get that one.
What was it? You man the guns, I'll drive?
What do you call a chameleon that can't change colors?
What?
A reptile dysfunction.
Seems fair. Seems fair. I'd buy that for $1.
Would you though? Would you buy it for $1?
No, not really. I'm just saying that.
Chicken. I think it's now we're now competing for dad jokes.
Uh-oh.
My wife struggled with arachnophobia for a long time. She did some exposure response therapy and has come a long way with it. I still get asked, not screamed at, to take spiders out from time to time though. Last night I took one out. They were really nice. After a couple drinks, I learned they want to be a web designer.
That's funny.
Fish tank.
You get it? Web
Fish
designer?
Tank.
Oh, I get it. All right.
Game delay, that did not help me one bit.
Took them out?
Oh, like a tank? Like a
Web
like a
designer?
military vehicle tank?
Spiders?
Oh, I get it, Jordan. I got it.
Okay.
I got it, Jordan.
Just making sure.
I got it, Jordan. It's fine.
Hello, Jade. What did you walk into this afternoon? Yeah, I got it. Now I got it that it's a tank, not the fish tank. I gotcha. Dad jokes, hairdo. Classic Monument Hobby stream.
Oh, classic monument hobby.
Classic moment.
Turns out, checks out. Okay.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Fur color.
Mike said, I'm going to go look up the Legion changes I haven't been able to find out about because dad jokes remind me that I didn't have a dad.
Wah, wah, wah. He's
It
been
got
crying.
really dark, and I laughed way too hard. I'm sorry.
He's been crying. In his sugar and peanuts. Oh, that's
Why
good.
don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Now that your wife is here, you can share today's episode of Adventures in Machine Shops. Uh-oh. I don't know how we can top yesterday's.
I would not expect him to ever have anything other than an exceptionally good tale.
Then what?
That was really long-winded way of saying I think he always has something better to tell us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
People who confuse entomology and etymology bug me in ways I cannot put into words.
Also a good one. Very solid.
A friend of mine was kidnapped by a group of mimes. They did unspeakable things to him.
Also a very good one. Also good.
All right, here we go from Chuck. Today at the machine shop, some older gentleman was lifting a 30-pound pan of snap ring plier parts when he had, oh my gosh, he had a seizure, and as he fell, the pan of parts crashed on his head.
What?
Oh, so this is.
I thought you were at a new shop that didn't have these problems.
But this isn't like a carelessness, stupidity kind of thing. This is a medical issue.
No, I get it.
He got an ambulance ride for a seizure and a concussion. Oh my gosh.
None of that is good.
That's crazy.
None of that is okay.
There are some things that should happen when you're in a machine
he's
shop.
Okay.
That is not one of them.
I'll only drink cow's milk. Some might call me lactose intolerant. Tolerant to the other kinds of lactose. Thought it was a dad joke and you weren't getting it. Vector too. They're all thinking.
Vector's like, I was waiting for the joke. I was waiting for the punchline that didn't show up.
Nick, Papa Chicken, Vector. They're all waiting for the punchline.
It's like, wait a second.
No, welcome to Chuck's
This is just Chuck's life.
Adventures in Machine
His
Shop is a
workplace
real
life.
deal.
Tales of woe.
When he's not making mead, baking delicious pumpkin bread, and hanging out with his awesome wife Jade. He works at a machine shop with lots of
Scary
tales
people.
of adventure.
Yeah. With scary people is the right way to put that.
There's a really great. I'm sure this person's probably on TikTok as well, but there's like I see it pop up on Facebook and Instagram every once in a while. It's a guy. He's wearing a hard hat
Glasses
and glasses.
and an emergency vest.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he shows different clips. There's a lot of people that do that show the clips of like people on job sites doing weird stuff, and he
like,
makes a face and then looks over here, and it's like, what is going on in the world?
It's just the stupidest things you could ever see happen, and he goes.
There's ones with dogs.
Yeah.
There's ones with all sorts of stuff. Those are funny.
My favorite one recently is a girl who is sitting on a subway in New York. And it's just her reaction to all
the craziness.
weird
All the
things
craziness on the subway. Yeah.
subway.
Yeah.
New York's a weird place.
Game Delay said, I just looked at what Baby J is painting and got very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a lot more disturbing than you realize when you first start looking at the thing. It's like, oh, this rat is should see a dermatologist.
Jade said, wait, who's this awesome wife of his? Do I need to hide a body?
No, that we're talking about you. Don't hide you.
Chuck said the dude from the video is awesome, but would get whiplash if he walked into my work. So he'd be like,
yeah.
Squeezel said, Alexa, yes, Jason, one G5 Gulfstream will be shipped to you overnight. Due to the nature of your business and budget, it will be in miniature.
I just wish that was the answer that she gave.
Yeah.
That would be so great.
Max Salty, yeah, that part, but also, did you see the others? About the former boss?
Chuck's got a very interesting workplace, work environment.
Well, Tomato, you missed Chuck's story from yesterday. Someone lost 30,000 parts. And then his former boss was mad at him because he stole an employee for his new place. And then we got the story about the boss and how the boss smokes crack and beats people up at Wrigley Field. And there's an article in our Discord, so check it out.
There is proof in the Discord.
If you get into manufacturing, you'll never be bored. I mean, we're in manufacturing.
Also true.
That's true.
Are we ever bored?
Never
We're
bored.
not bored.
All right, so used dark hot pink for all these fleshy areas. In true Jason's request fashion, painted them pink.
Look at you.
Oh, look at you. You're the one who demanded it. And you got what you demanded.
Well, I
To
mean,
be fair, wasn't a bad idea.
you know, keep me around for a reason.
Correct.
Chuck Game Delay makes a good point. Is it you?
Is the problem you?
It can't possibly be you because you bake delicious treats. You definitely only make workplaces better.
I mean, Chuck, you have to realize that around here, we're like, the least common denominator in all these conversations is Chuck.
Yeah, why is Chuck always a part of these conversations? I'm worried. Using light umber for this fur here. Like all the times where I do this sort of application, I am working from the brighter colors down. So I'm starting with this lighter fur color, and then I will transition to darker colors as I get to other parts of the fur. And I will layer it on top of this color to get a really nice effect. I think this model will actually paint up really fast, which is cool.
It is 3:30
Mm-hmm.
already.
What?
I know.
Don't know how that happened.
I think we just had a good time. I didn't look at the clock.
Been happening a lot lately.
That's a good thing. I think. Pretty sure.
Yep, that's it. That's the one, Wad.
Hopefully, everybody's been paying attention that I'm literally painting in nothing but washes today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All I'm doing is thinning. Everything has been thinned with, 10-to-1 glaze wash medium. And then I'm just kind of stippling and finger smudging along the blend areas to get the blends done. Three colors. Orange, brown, burnt sienna, and now red, orange. Orange, red.
Nick from Grey Primer said, I love your glazed wash medium. I just wish it came in gallon drums.
So do I. Technically, it comes
I was gonna
in
say, sort of.
16 liter right before we mix it, but
Sort of does. But not really.
Oh, Brannigan's brushes coming in with a raid.
what's going on, gang?
Brannigan.
Hello, everyone.
What's up?
Hello.
Hope you're all having a good time.
Hello.
Nice, fancy, delightful stream I hope you had.
Hello.
Hello. What is up, crew? How are we all doing? We are doing great.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Jordan's doing some army painting. Jason is working on our brand new upcoming. Well, no, it's not brand new. It is brand new. It's not available yet. Coming soon. Texture Trainer.
Our special release.
Yeah, it's a model done in tandem with the Nova Open for the Capital Palette this year. We will be supplying them. They will go on sale at the show. So if you're going to the Nova Open, you can get them there or on our site at the same time. For those of you that don't travel or won't be able to travel to Nova Open, don't fear. You'll be able to get the salamander that they have chosen as their annual mascot. They generally have a phoenix, but it's some sort of fiery animal that they go with all the time. And for this year, 2024, it is a salamander. So we took their logo and made it into one of our Texture Trainer shapes. They'll be available at the show.
So like I said, it's not available yet, but we do have 3 other Texture Trainer designs that are available on our website. I just put the link up there for you guys. Brannigan said that a new Skaven Rat Ogre I see.
Yes, sir. These ones are so much better than the old ones. It's like outrageous how much better they are. I don't think they've gotten a model update in over 10 years.
Balthorn Ilian said, you say salamander, but all I can see is the green dragon from Dragon Quest. I don't know what Dragon Quest is, but I can see like a cute purple and pink dragon.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people excited to paint it up like a baby dragon. It is a very good sculpt for turning into whatever you like in the lizard monstrosity category. You do you.
Just glazing this on. It's a heavier glaze, but it's still showing all the colors underneath. The goal is to filter this lighter skin, or not skin, but fur skin color.
Nick said, you know the M&M store in New York City? The way they dispense multicolor M&Ms from the huge tubes is how I imagine Pro Acryl paints and glazes dispense in your studio.
Yes. We need taps on the wall.
That would be cool.
Just that run straight back to production.
That'd be so funny.
Paint on tap.
Be great for a couple of colors. And glaze and wash medium. Especially for you. You go through glaze and wash medium like crazy.
I think you go through it more than I do.
Do I?
Yeah. I will go long times without really having a model that I use it on because I use water all the time.
I use water for a lot of things now, but sometimes you just need that extra little bit.
Oh, 100%.
With the glaze and wash medium. It's so wonderful every time.
Mikey Vengeance said that they had some one-off minis in Island of Blood starter set, but they were never released as individual kit. So the old rat ogres were probably older than 10 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. So long.
It's the Geico Gecko's cousin who doesn't leave the outback.
Yes. I can see that. That's pretty good. I started with the orange brown, so it gave us that yellowish, right? Because anytime you go over a white base, you're going to desaturate and get a brighter version of the color. So having done the zenithal with the black first, then the white, then doing the orange brown, because if you're not familiar, orange brown is this color, right? Put it over white, gets a little bit more of that yellow showing, which I wanted for the belly scales, right? But I also wanted that color to be a hint on the rest of the body. And so then I went with the burnt sienna in the shadows, and glaze that in, give us our volumes back, and then go over it all with orange red, right, on the top, which this is going to be the color that looks the least like itself, because all it's going to do is, continue to darken and warm up that orange brown to make the scales on the skin part look different than the belly. So totally different manner of painting than I normally do. Still can give really good results and very quick.
Art of Mike Disney, hello.
Hello, Mike.
Songer said if you had paint taps, we could come in with growlers to do refills.
Yes. No, wait.
Or people would fill them up on their tours. And they come in for tours.
What's going on, Mike Disney?
Up with all the Pauly Shore references lately.
Started yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So we're adding a little bit of warm brown. Add it in some areas here. Create some darker shadows. Might even go a little darker than this. Let's see here. Let's just go straight to mahogany. I think we can thin it down and make it not quite strong enough to be super duper dark.
Hasn't said, did Pauly Shore ever make a good movie? I think the better question is, did Pauly Shore ever make a bad movie?
And just showed her true colors.
I don't know who this person is, so I can't weigh in.
Oh. He was like the after school staple when I was in high school.
On
MTV.
That would explain why I am less familiar.
Or maybe I might have been out of high. It might have been like the summer after I graduated from high school.
Still.
No, he is
Definitely.
actually not one that I would have expected you to know.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not going to mock that one.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make any
definitely.
comments. I understand that you would not have known.
Definitely before my time.
Oh yeah, MTV VJ in 1989. So yeah, I was still in high school.
I didn't realize that MTV has been airing for that long.
That what?
That has been airing for that long.
Oh yeah, all the way back since black and white
1981.
TV, Jordan. Jeez.
1981.
I actually had no idea. That's actually crazy.
1981. Remember when MTV used to play music? Exactly.
Well, I mean, they've been playing music for a long time.
No, MTV used to only be music videos.
I know.
Music television.
I remember watching MTV and it only being music videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, no. Because, like, right around the time of Pauly Shore is when they started doing shows like, oh my gosh, they had a game show that was amazing.
Oh, maybe I just
always
didn't
wanted to
know
go
at
on
the
it.
time.
I was going to say Total Request, but that was Carson Daly's thing. They all sat in recliners and they buzzed in. Yeah, remote control. I was like, as I was saying, they buzzed in with a remote control. It was called Remote Control. Yeah, that's where Beavis and Butthead first aired. Yo MTV Raps, 120 minutes. We've talked about this. Jason and I get nostalgic about the old days of MTV. 43 years of MTV, 14 years of music.
Crazy. I can't believe that I didn't know that they did anything other than music videos. When I was watching it, I mean, I would have been very, very young. Like sub 10 years old.
Well, but you
probably.
so you're saying you didn't realize that MTV did more than music videos?
Yeah. At the time, no, I do know that they don't do music
Okay.
videos now.
He didn't know they
Okay.
were that old.
When I was that young, I had only ever seen music
gotcha.
videos
Okay.
on MTV.
Headbangers Ball was the pinnacle of American television. Remote Control was a great game. I always wanted to go on it. I would have been so good at it. It was like all pop culture trivia type stuff. Super fun.
Are you a pop culture whiz?
Yeah.
Do you like doing trivia, Jen?
Yeah.
Jason, how do you fare? I imagine you're probably pretty good at trivia.
It depends. I'm hit or miss.
Some
there are
topics you're
certain
probably
things again.
really
I don't
good.
pay attention, so it just has to be the right combo of, oh, I was alive then, I know this,
Yeah,
because I don't like sit around and think about it much.
right.
So for me, it's tough. Like, you know, playing Trivial Pursuit was never one of my big like, oh yeah, this will be rad. But every now and then I get really
So
lucky.
Trivial Pursuit is one where Trivial Pursuit is pretty hard. There's a lot of categories that I'm not good at. But then you get into like the specialized Trivial Pursuits, like pop culture Trivial Pursuit. I'm very good at that. There was a Rock and Roll Jeopardy on MTV that was hosted by Jeff Probst from Survivor, and I would have crushed it on that game. Like I should have gone on that show. Bar trivia night with Lord Commander Gentastic and cult leader Slow Fuse. When? I don't know. He just said that he probably isn't very good at it because he doesn't.
I was gonna say though, it would be really fun to like go out and do like those bar nights where
Yes.
you know everybody gets one
Oh,
of
the
the
ones in the
controllers.
bar with the little, like, I don't know if they still do this, but
They
back
used to
in
have
the
a
day,
little controller
they would have
and
a
it
little
would all be on the
controller you
screen
could
and
get.
everybody
I
would
was
battle each other.
so good. Those are the types of trivia questions that I'm really good at, like the real basic. I enjoy real Jeopardy, but I probably only know not quite half of the answers. That's probably being generous. Video game archaeologist said I still remember seeing Suicidal Tendencies my first time. All I wanted was a Pepsi.
Just one Pepsi. They wouldn't give it to me. Institutionalized. Used to sit up waiting on Headbangers Ball for them to play that. Peace Cells, but Who's Buying from Megadeth was as close as you were going to get to punk rock back then. None of the hardcore bands we listened to even had videos. So to see Suicidal was as close as you'd get.
Suicidal Tendencies a few years ago was still amazing. That's awesome.
They still tear it up.
Gotta be pretty geriatric by now.
Yeah. Mike Muir. One of them, it's his son. I don't remember who, but there's a lot of legacy in that band. A lot of I don't know how many of the original bandmates are still playing.
Chronic Toast, you're seeing part of it right there on the left. That's some news right there. Brand new texture trainer coming soon. Other news, Go Bags are back in stock
Yep.
after months of waiting. After the destruction and devastation, Go Bags are back.
Feels good.
Yes.
Using that plum really thin over the cloth parts, just so that it'll blend into the rest of the model here.
Sure, Jason knows who G.G. Allen was.
Oh, I saw him. Worst experience of my life.
Well, who is that, and what happened? Why was
He
it bad?
is the most despicable human being to ever walk the face of the planet.
Oh, dang.
One of the most despicable human beings. He was just a shock value punk scene guy.
Oh, okay.
He
we're
basically
talking music
got up
still.
and in Dallas, Texas, I forget who he played with. I forget who played at the same time, but they put a fence up on the stage because he would poop on himself. He got tetanus a couple of times because he would
What?
cut himself and poop and roll around in it. It was shock value, horrible. It was, when I saw him, it was G.G. Allen and I forget something Destroyers, but he would literally come to town and then just get people in a band and play. It was literally not a band that traveled together back then. Yeah, despicable, horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. Crazy doesn't even describe. It's not even worth talking about him.
Yeah.
Useless pile of trash that punk rock kids hold up to some amazing standard because of how
seriously?
shocking he was. But had any of them actually gone and seen him live, they would have stopped listening to punk rock and going to shows. It was that bad. It was like Fear for Your Death because the people that were there to see him were also atrocious human beings.
Oh.
It was horrible. Horrible. Horrible.
Not the pinnacle of anything, said Chuck.
No, horrible, dude.
Mike Disney said, I have met his brother Merle several times.
Yeah, horrible.
Merle?
Horrible. Don't even know why we continue to talk about him.
Right.
Wasn't music.
We won't.
Wasn't worth going for. Because that was at the time where I was like 14, 15, sneaking out, going down to the Circle A Ranch in Dallas and to see like the Exploited and the UK Subs and the Oppressors and stuff like that. And then there was that night. It was just like you just went because I was trying to be part of this cool scene that I was in love with, and I didn't know any of these bands because I couldn't buy those records.
Oh my gosh! Imagine the shock for like kids like you who.
I was at the furthest
like,
back I could get. I was at the
happening?
furthest back I could get in the place, shoved as I felt like I was trying to push myself into the wall to get away from this thing I was watching on stage. It was horrible. Horrible. The Dead Kennedys. I've seen them a bunch of times. I wasn't a big fan of Dead Kennedys. I was not a punk rock music fan. I was a hardcore kid. So I liked East Coast punk rock. And what eventually got called hardcore music, right? And so the punk rock scene was always something where I was like on the border anyway, right? It was like,
Hey, Valthorn, have you contacted us about this? You can send a message to support@monumenthobbies.com if you've got some pictures that show any issues or challenges. That's super helpful for Jordan.
Yes, I will happily help you with your Procrawl issues.
Jello and the rest of the band had grown to hate each other. I mean, that happened to a lot of those bands. Pretty much any band. Doesn't have to be punk rock, right? Snapcase and Earth Crisis. I don't know. Maybe. Not really. A couple of Earth Crisis songs I'm not too mad at. Stiff Little Fingers are where you get your punk fix. Stiff Little Fingers is great. Right? Oh, show.
Thanks, Jason, bringing me back to my crazy teens.
Right there with you. Right there with you. We've had people in chat that are like, wait a minute, you played for that band? I saw you guys at such and thus and so. I think a lot of old punk rock people get into miniature painting for some reason. They also get into, obviously, like old cars and motorcycles. Because it was very small world stuff when I would go on a motorcycle ride, like in the Catskills or something, and be sitting around a fire, and somebody would be like, yeah, I used to play guitar for so-and-so, and I'm like, what? It's like we went on tour with you in like 88.
Crazy.
He's like, what? And it was like, it was like somebody that I should have remembered.
You
The Mighty Boss Tones.
You contacted us months ago. If you're still struggling, send another message.
You think it has to do with how pigmented it is? No, it's how thin you're making it. 100%, if you're getting our paints not going on smooth, you're thinning it too much. Period. You're thinning it too much and layering it back up on top of it too much. Our paints don't
sense.
have to be thin to paint with them, right? You thin them to get them to be less opaque, and that's it. Airbrush, you need to thin them, right? For obvious reasons, so that they're more fluid and go through the airbrush all right. But if you're just painting, you only need the dampness of your brush, and your brush shouldn't even be that damp unless you're glazing.
Yep.
So don't thin them. I tell people paint with them straight out of the bottle,
That's
right?
what I tell
And
people.
layer them on dark colors first, mid-tone colors, then bright colors. Because if you try to put like yellow over black, you're going to be fighting yourself no matter what paint line you're using. Orange over black, bright greens over black, stuff like that. Always use a darker version of the color first, then paint the brighter version on over that. Or if you can, use 3 stages. We typically paint in 3 stages, right? Dark, mid-tone, and bright. If you're trying to put bright colors on a model first, prime it white, then you won't have that problem. But yeah, like chalkiness or chunkiness or whatever is too thin and too many layers, right? Because what happens is the pigment breaks out of suspension when you thin the paint down, and it starts to not be controllable. It piles up. You won't see the piles because it's tiny microscopic stuff, but it doesn't lay with an even layer of pigment across the surface. That pigment starts to pool up because there's too much water in the paint or too much wetness. So that wetness wants to form like droplets, and those droplets pull the pigment here and pull the pigment here, and then you do another layer and it pulls more pigment into those same things because you typically do the same brush stroke, and eventually you get piles of pigment and nothing in between them, or not enough in between them to make a difference. And so when you look at it with a naked eye, it looks like it has texture, because you'll see, like, even when I'm going very, very thin over this one, and if I go back, let's just do this, and then I'll punch in real far.
Nick, I forwarded that message that you sent to our general manager.
Right. And there's nothing crazy going on here, but you'll see, like, on the big wide open areas, it's still very, very smooth, and that's super thin, but that's only one coat of thin paint. I'm using the paint at a very low opacity so that the white primer and the black primer for my zenithal show through, right? So I'm not going for opacity. So it's only like 1 or 2 layers of paint each time. I'm not trying to build the color up to full opacity, so I can maintain the smoothness. But when I paint without using glazes like that, same thing. Super smooth finish. The only texture you're seeing is the paintbrush texture that I've done to make it look like scritchy stuff and, ugly skin and, whatever I've done with my paintbrush to do it. But smooth paint. And this is, 100% no tricks. We do these things. I painted this whole thing live. Right? But the key with fine art paints, because they shouldn't force you to thin them to use them, right, is don't thin them. We're used to hobby paints that are really house paint in a small bottle, and they're too thick to use. They feel like you're painting with snot. And so you thin them so that they become a little bit more fluid, right? Oh, I'm still zoomed in, that's why. Like, why is it not showing Jordan? Right? So I have a video called How to Paint with Just the Water on Your Brush on YouTube. If you go look at our YouTube channel, you'll find that. That is the answer 100% of the time. When I've been able to get that across to people, solves the problem instantly. We just had one the other day where the guy was same thing in stream, contacted off stream, showed him on stream. He was like 100% what my problem was, not a problem anymore. Right? So.
Falthorn said, I'm trying to lower the opacity to layer up from dark to light. This was during what you were explaining, so you may have already.
Lower the opacity to layer up from dark to light.
It's kind of counterintuitive of what you want to do, right? If you're lowering the opacity, you're going to get worse coverage.
You're having to use too many layers.
Yeah.
Like, how many layers of each color are you finding you need? If it's over 2, then you're too thin. 2 layers of paint should do everything you need to do in most cases. There's times where you might be wet blending and doing some other fancy techniques where you use like 2 or 3, but if you're glazing or layering and using very thin paint and doing like 15 layers, 10 layers, 6 layers, you're too much paint. Because for if you're going over 2 layers, you raise the opacity of your paint and bring it back to 2 layers, right? It'll do the same exact thing. We have it built into our heads that for some reason you have to lower the opacity to get your blending to look good, and that's not the case at all, right? Our paint blends like a dream even when you don't thin it. Right? So you can play around with it. But I would say first, try to not thin as much and get comfortable working up those layers that way. And if you are going to glaze, raise the opacity of the glaze because you still don't have to have it be ultra thin, right? This is our glaze wash medium and water, right? And this is, here's not even wicking it. That's just no dampness on the brush and a bunch of paint, but I've got it thin to like that. Right? And I'll do maybe 2 layers of that tops. Because if I need it to be more yellow and not show through the base layers more, then I don't need it to be that thin. I lessen the thinning so that it covers more each time, right? As opposed to, just being pure opaque. You want to go somewhere between that and this, probably. But yeah, you shouldn't ever get a texture. Two to four, best you can guess is at 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 paint to water. See, and like what I do for until I'm doing this, like today's a bad example, right? Because I'm doing basically speed painting over white in order to get my coloring down today. So a little bit of a different technique here. But for everything that I've done on, say, this guy, right? It's literally, here, let's pull my palette over, right? Here's my plum, my dark plum right here, see? Still wet. So I'll go over here, clean my brush. Whatever water comes out of the water cup, I don't squeegee it on the side of the water cup. That's how much water I have. So this is how much water a number 4 will hold. It won't hold anymore. And then I'll pull a tail out of plum, like so, right? And so now that's really, really watery because it's using so much water out of my brush. I didn't add any extra water to it. That's just that. And that would give me a really nice kind of simple glaze. I could use that on this guy to like glaze into the shadows, and it's just going to give me a slight filter of color in those shadows. A little bit of that plum color going on. Not going to really darken it up too much. Just going to give me a little bit of hue, right? And so I can use that all day long for things where I don't want a whole lot of color. But I do want to alter the color that was already there just a little bit with that plum. And that would work great. And I might have to do 1 or 2 layers to get it to work. You're going to see the color build up in the model and make a decision on, is that the right color I want? If not, add a little bit more, right? But if I knew that I wanted to have it be more opaque, then I would clean my brush. Again, I've got just however much water the brush will hold. Then I'll come over here, and on my paper towel, I'll say I want more opacity, so I'll wipe it once or twice, maybe 3 times, right? So now there's not near as much water on my brush, so it's barely even shiny now, a little bit of shine. So it's still damp enough to have flex, give a little bit of wetness out of my finger, but not much. And now I pull that out into a different puddle. Let's not pull it into that same puddle, right? And now it's going to flow very well, but it's going to have more opacity. It's not going to be quite fresh out of the bottle opacity. It still shows through a little bit of my tattoo lines. But now it's going to come over here and it's going to add a whole bunch more color in one layer than it did before. See, you can actually see those lines of dark plum on there now, right? 1, 2, 3. Right, do it right in here. Maybe right along this crease here. Right? So now I'm getting color raw the way I want it. And I'm going to get a lot of intensity, and I only have to do the 1 layer, or maybe it's, it's not still as much intensity as I want, so I come back with a 2nd layer. But I'm always thinking in terms of how opaque do I want this color to be. And if I'm layering this up to another color, dark to light, same thing. Doesn't matter, right? I can put this on there. Blends just fine. And then last but not least, you've got however much water your paintbrush will hold. Again, it's going to depend on the size of brush you got. Wipe it off like 3 or 4 times. And now I can come over here and I can get just the paint the way it is out of the bottle with just enough dampness on the brush to make it flow. And now if I were to do this on here, I'm going to get very dark. So if I wanted to paint like around this scale, right? Now I'm basically painting with the full brightness or darkness of whatever paint it is I'm using. And that is honestly how I paint everything. And how a good paint will allow you to work, because it will be able to deliver exactly the brightness or darkness, depending on the color that it is, without having to be messed around with too much. I don't have to spend a lot of time on the palette, right? So now I've kind of outlined that scale on his chin. So with the same color, same brush, just the water on the brush, you can paint any way you can imagine. That's all I've done with this guy. It's just I needed to make a whole lot of thin paint, so I put the glazed wash and medium and water into it to do the same thing I was doing with a lot of water on my brush, but now I have enough paint to do the whole model. And I would never have to do any of those with more than 2 layers, right? And same with this guy, you know. I might do multiple, like I might have 20 layers on the face, but it's 10 layers of it's 10 different colors, 2 layers each. Kind of is the way that I think about it. Well, Valthorn, that's not the case. I know it's frustrating because you're trying to do a lot of thin layers to get blending. But what I'm saying is you can get the same or better. But watch how Jordan paints. Jordan works with super smooth blends. Show him a model that you do.
Yeah.
Like show him something that you've painted.
Let's see here. What have I done really smooth blends on lately? Here you go. Like the blends on the face for the...
Here, give me that so I can go into
Yeah,
the one painter.
yeah,
We'll
here.
do the zoom on this. So Jordan paints totally different than I do, right? So he uses way more layers than I do, kind of like what you're talking about, right? For each of his colors, but still super smooth. The idea is that he's not going with like glazing type layers. You're still getting like kind of 50-50 opacity on the paint each time, so you're still treating it as what, 2, maybe 3 layers tops?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. The only thing that I've thinned down my paints to do a lot is to apply thin layers of filters. So like on the face, right? After you guys can't see anything.
I have to do that and then that.
Yeah. So like in areas like right here, right? In the deep recesses, what I'll end up doing is after I've done the majority of the highlighting and base coating and shading for the skin, I'll go back with thin layers of glazes that I'll mix up with like a glaze and wash medium and either our transparent paints or one of our other colors. And I'll go back and I'll apply glazes in the recesses to add some additional color. That's really all I use glazes for. Doing that to get smooth transitions on the actual painting part is just either using the blending techniques that I use while I'm painting, where I don't thin hardly at all, right? So we're talking about stuff like how I do these my kind of like almost wet blending type stuff, where I'll get almost full opacity right out of the pot, and I'll apply it, and then I'll take my clean brush that's only damp, and I'll feather out a gradient like this using the paintbrush. But I'm using full opacity paints when I'm doing this. I'm not thinning them down at all. And that's how I get a lot of my smooth blends when I'm trying to do smooth base coats and smooth highlights.
Referred to as kind of a 2-brush blend.
Yeah.
But he's only using 1 brush.
Right. It's a modified 2-brush blend.
Valthorn, are you wicking the paint off your brush before you go to the model? Like
Yeah.
if I get this paint that's really thin, right, and I have that much paint, I never paint on the model with that much paint, no matter how much area I'm trying to cover. I got to get rid of most of it, right, to where this is the kind of paint that I've got. You should never have a dimension of paint on your brush other than the shape of the brush itself. It should all be soaked into the bristles. That does you a lot better. It doesn't build up paint in, truckloads on the model. Seems a little wasteful, but that you definitely, if you're painting thin, you have to do that. You never want to...
Just gives you more control.
Yeah, because the paint goes exactly where you want it, as opposed to having a pool that you have to figure out how to smooth out as you paint.
You can see I'm removing a lot of it, and I have a nice sharp point with some paint on the brush. And then when I go to put paint on the model, you can see that it applies really smooth. And then I can even come back in with my other technique that I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
And I can smooth it out, right?
That's what I've been doing on this guy. Putting the paint on and then blending them together and then rubbing it with my finger, rubbing it with a wet brush to smooth it out on the edges for the blends.
Yep.
But the paint itself is smooth. I mean, all ultra matte finished paints like ours will have a little bit of a texture to them at the end, but it shouldn't be able to be seen. If you compared it to a satin paint, they're going to look different. Wad says, since you use a wet palette, do you generally have less water on your brush than I do?
Well, it's hard. Wait, than Jason does?
I wouldn't. I would say he'd have more, maybe.
I don't know about more, but I mean, I use a pretty
I don't think we technically paint that different with the feel of the paint in the bristles of the brush,
Yeah.
right? So if he's using a wet palette and his paint is a little damper, then he's probably drying his brush more before he goes to the palette.
Yes.
Because he's getting the moisture off of the palette with the paint at the same time. I'm utilizing only the moisture out of the cup because my paint is just paint, since I'm using a dry piece of paper, right? I mean, I paint on palette paper or a piece of glass. So for me, but the end game is exactly the same.
Well, here's a good question. Do you dab your paintbrush on a paper towel after you rinse it off?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it depends on, that's what I'm saying. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm glazing, typically maybe once, but for most of my other times, it's like once, twice. I still have a lot more water on my brush as I go to the paint.
So I usually do about 3.
Yeah.
And I rotate my brush every time I do it. So I'll show you.
He's taking a lot more water off of his bristles before he goes to the palette.
I'm doing 1, 2, 3 usually. And that's enough to get my brush to a point where it's damp, but not wet. That makes sense.
My brush is much more wet than Jordan's is. And because my paint does not have any water along with it on the palette.
Yeah.
Did you see this that Valthorn said what Jordan is doing? Okay.
Yep, we handle it.
All right, good.
Well, I don't know if we handle it. We'll keep working with you, Valthorn, though. Understand that it may be that hanging out here and watching us do something, like asking us to do particular color workup that you're trying to do, and we can do that for you. We have no problem with that.
Happy to do so.
We'll take a dirty-ass Space Marine from around here and paint him up. Easy peasy. But yeah, 100% of the time that people are finding, that their paint is textured is because they're thinning it like it's other hobby paint, which starts thicker than is usable most times. Most other manufacturers just start too thick. So you thin it so that you can use it. Our paint starts in a usable form and you thin for opacity only. And understand that you may think that it's been you needing to paint with less opacity in the past because other hobby paints, as you thin them so they work right, are also thinning opacity unnecessarily. And so that gets to be a kind of we've learned this way, but it doesn't have to work that way. Like our paint is very opaque right out of the bottle, and without any thinning, you can still blend like crazy with it without having a wet blend, right? Just the dampness on your brush will allow you to do the same types of layering you've been doing, right? And if you're going to do like a pure glaze layering scenario where you're using ultra transparent paints to blend so that you don't see your stages in blending, then you won't have to add near as much water.
Well, and the thing is, as well, you can get really smooth blends without thinning down your paint very much.
I don't understand what going on choppy means.
It's not really textures. So you're probably talking about seeing more of your brush strokes potentially. It's easier if we can see a photo of what you're talking about. So if you want to send some photos to support, if you can get them in tonight, I'll definitely take a look at them tomorrow, and we can go through and try and find a solution for you once I can see what we're looking at. Because that's the other part of this, is being able to physically look at what you're seeing so that I can identify the things that I have seen in my experience other painters do that are causing them problems. I'm familiar with a lot of these problems, and I can identify which one is causing you trouble.
Looks like we're going to rate Atomic Mass Games.
Love those guys.
They're talking about games, not painting.
Game talk, not painting.
But it is Mini Stravaganza week over at Atomic Mass.
Yep. They're flipping in between.
Like 8 hours a day of switching between
days.
painting and talking about all of their wonderful games. So we'll probably go raid them. So as always, thanks so much for hanging out with us, gang. Lovely to have everybody here. If you're new around here, come from one of the raids, thank you for sticking around. Please hit that follow button. We'd love to see you back. We stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Arizona Mountain Standard Time. So please come back and join us. More bad jokes from chat. Holy crap. And tons of fun. So make sure to check all the links that Jen put up in the chat there with the store where you can buy all the pro acrylic brushes that we sell, that you see us working with every day here on stream, along with the YouTube with 4,542 amazing artists and one Oompa Loompa funeral service. Thank you, Ghost
Oh my
Hunter.
gosh, that's so funny.
Thank you, Ghost Hunter. Oompa Loompa Funeral Service needs to be a real thing, by the way. So join us on the
That's a
Discord.
great band name.
Yeah, approaching 5,000 amazing artists in the miniature space that will give you tons of inspiration, great friendships, and all sorts of other amazing info bouncing around on there 24 hours a day. So come join us there. Look at the YouTube channel. We do stream live on Twitch and YouTube every day, but look at the YouTube. You can catch the past live shows as well as other content that we put up. And the FLGS link, so you can support a local store near you that sells our stuff. Please do. So stick around for a raid. We are going to raid Atomic Mass. Blow up their chat. What can we have everybody say that's really fun? They won't look at chat because they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
They're probably not paying attention to chat, but you can still say something funny. What should we say?
Tell Will to stop eating Taco Bell.
Tell Will, stop eating Taco Bell. Say Will, say Schick, stop eating Taco Bell. Everybody honest?
Pagani.
Oh, it's Pagani? Is Pagani on there?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Will Pagani. But just say Will, stop eating Taco Bell. All right?
He'll laugh.
There you go, gang.
Will, comma, stop eating Taco Bell. Because otherwise it's implying that you will stop eating Taco Bell.
Yes.
Put a comma after Will so they know that it's for him.
Damn grammar.
Also say commas are important.
Commas are important.
All right. Thanks, gang. We'll catch you back here tomorrow.
Bye,
Adios.
everyone.